back to my channel. All right, so this is a what if celebrity reading on the singer Amy Winehouse. Before we get into the reading, I'd like to thank all of you for checking out this video. If you've been here, been subbed, thank you. If you're brand new, hit the sub button as well as the bell notification. I drop videos weekly. Also, if you like a private reading, coaching, consultation session, same day reading, walk-in reading, same day video reading, or to become a patron where I do exclusive readings, first access readings, and I give away I do a monthly giveaway just for the patrons. Check the pinned comment below as well as the description box for all of that below. Now, without further ado, let's get into this reading. You all make sure you read the disclaimer at the beginning. This is, not to defame or, anything else. This is tarot fiction based on tarot. Alleged, all that blah, say blah. Take it if you believe. Don't take what you don't believe. All in all, be entertained. Had to get that out the way, as y'all know. All right, so let's get into it. So Amy Winehouse, definitely a powerhouse singer. I remember being a huge fan of Amy's when I was in high school. She was very impactful. And even still, you all, like even still. And definitely, I feel like she came out during a time where the UK was like going through this like retro 60s thing, which was amazing. No shade anybody watching me from in the UK, no shade at all, because I was into it. I remember Duffy. This was also, well, Adele came about 4 or 5 years later, like a few years after that, but even then, like her sound was retro-esque. So but definitely Amy was top tier. So truly a sad thing in her passing. Like she had a very sad, I don't want to say sad life in general, but that last decade was, it seemed very tough, So let's just get into her reading. And let's find out what would have happened to, well, first, you know what? Let's get into the energy. Thank you, universe, for the channel messages. Thank you, Amy's energy, for coming through in this reading. Channel the energy of Amy Winehouse. Thank you, universe, for the channel messages. Channeling the energy of Amy Winehouse. Thank you, universe, for the channel messages. Thank you for deep insight, universe. Amy's energy. Amy Winehouse's spirit. Let's find out. What would have become of Amy Winehouse's career had she survived? So Amy was born September 14th in 1983. That made her a Virgo sun. And she passed on July 23rd, 2011. That's Leo season. I found that to be very interesting, you all, because I did look up Amy's chart. So according to the internet, we all go into some skepticism, but according to the internet, and if this is true about her chart, then it makes so much sense why she was such a passionate person. You all, Amy was made up of fire and earth. Like her sun sign was Virgo. Her moon sign was Capricorn, which explains, her, working very hard and being very determined. And it was going to happen for her. And whatever career path she had chosen, it was going to happen and she was going to excel and do well and it was going to be lucrative. However, though, you all, up and through this woman's chart, it was nothing but Sagittarius, Leo. Sagittarius, Leo, Sagittarius. Like when you say this woman was literally on fire, like on the inside, she was on fire, like for real. So let's get into it. So it makes sense why she was such a passionate person and why her music was so raw, authentic, and truthful. It was very passionate. So universe, Amy's energy. We tap into Amy's energy. What would have become of Amy's career had she survived? So Amy passed away July 23rd, 2011, due to alcohol poisoning. Now, Amy had been sober from alcohol and drugs, I believe, for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. A little bit, not 2 years, but it was around that year's time frame. Amy, who had abused alcohol horribly, and it was the song Rehab that was inspired by her alcohol usage, and her management team wanted her to get help for that. And then being introduced to drugs by her husband Blake at the time, she had, finally gotten to the point where she was able to go to rehab. One, kick the drug and alcohol habit, kick the substance abuse problem. However, though, in a relapse binge, she ended up dying of alcohol poisoning because, it was a 3-day binge that she went on after being clean for something like it was either a year or 8 months or like a year and a half. She had managed to be clean. So it was a relapse, unfortunately. Let's find out. Amy's spirit. What would have become of your career as she survived? What would have become of Amy's career as she survived? Ooh, we have the 4 of Wands. We have the 6 of Swords that came out in the reverse and the 4 of Wands. She definitely would have lasted even longer. I'm hearing move to the U.S. So Amy's second album, Back to Black, ended up catapulting her into international stardom. Amy's second album was when I was introduced to Amy's music, but then just from that second album, well, actually her first single off that second album, Tears Dry on Her Own, that's what I heard in high school. And then that's what got me hooked and got me looking into Amy. And then I realized that she had an album, Frank, which did not make it to the US. It wasn't an international release. But her Back to Black was an international release. And so that album itself was just major. And it was going to continue on in that way for her. Amy would have eventually moved to America. That's what I'm getting with that one, for career purposes. I'm also getting she would eventually divorced her then husband. What would have been of her career? Actually, let's get a different one. Would have been of Amy's career as she survived. There would have been a small period where Amy's career would have slowed down a bit with the 4 of Swords in the upright. And a lot of it has to do with her particular sound. It was a very period-like sound. It was a part of the trend. It was like, not dated, but you all know how, like, we had trap music. Well, trap is still, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you have different eras, different sounds of the era. Like her career would have slowed down a bit in those regards, but she would have figured it out. Definitely she would have looked into other means of entertainment, expanding her career beyond. It would have stayed in music. She wouldn't have gone into acting. That's what I'm getting with that. She wasn't too interested in becoming an actress. She was definitely all about her music. I'm hearing she would have opened up an establishment. Like it's, in my head, you all, it's looking like some sort of lounge or nightclub even. She would have opened up an establishment. What would have happened to her career has she? So definitely, and I'm getting something about an establishment being set both where she was from, in home base and, and in the U.S. What's strongly coming through, you all, is Los Angeles. So I feel like she would have not moved over here full-time, but, would have had property. So technically dual citizenship in a sense, but maybe not official citizenship. But, living in LA also and living, back in the UK. She definitely she loved living in the UK though. So she definitely was big on home. So she would have stayed there most of the time, but she would have found a way to expand, work. What would have been her career? I'm also getting a period where she would have taken some time away with this Queen of Wands. Like she would have shut herself, I don't want to say shut in from the world or shut out from the world, but she would have taken some time away with the Queen of Wands to kind of be with self. What would have become of Amy's career had she survived, universe? We have the 10 of Cups that came out in the reverse. We have the Star card. So I feel like her career would have stayed consistent, but it would have stayed on a level where, maybe like a moderate level. Like I'm not saying sold out arena shows and things of that nature. Well-known venues, heard of, but they're smaller venues, essentially. So, but she would have had a very consistent career with that. She would have had very consistent earnings. She would have been very satisfied as well. Like this sounds like, I'm hearing this sounds like the life. Like she would have been very satisfied because ultimately her what she wanted, what she craved was to, you know, sing, make music, write, create, and live off of that. That's what she would have wanted. All right, so let me find out. Let me see. What was my next question? You all, I wrote them down this time. All right, so going into the relationship that she had with her husband, Blake. So Blake notoriously is the one, and he did admit to this in, you know, different interviews, that he was the one who introduced Amy to drugs. So I believe Amy had been drinking before she met with Blake. So Amy, what it appeared to be was that Amy already had addictive behaviors in already, like before she met Blake. Amy also suffered from an eating disorder. She had bulimia, where she suffered from bulimia as well since she was a teen. So knowing that, I can see how it became very easy for her to try the lifestyle that Blake lived in regards to substance abuse, because, you know, there was a lot that was already going on. Plus, she was already heavily drinking, you know. So it tells me that, you know, with her looking for an escape, maybe she felt very lonely. Definitely there's depression there in regards to the different, you know, with bulimia, with the alcohol abuse. So a lot of depression there, or seemingly so. Let's see. Universe, Amy's energy. What would have become of Amy had she never gotten with Blake? What would have happened to Amy? We have the King of Wands that came out in the upright. So what I'm getting is she has a very dependent personality. So she would have found someone that she felt, you know, that she became dependent on. Like there was going to be a relationship that was going to be just as impactful as Blake's. But what's coming out, you all, is like someone abusive. And I'm hearing like her father. Like I'm not saying her father was abusive towards her, but I'm kind of getting that she was drawn towards very domineering personalities. Because she has a very, it's like a very dependent energy that's coming off. You know, like needing guidance. That's what it was. Like clinging to people in regards to guidance. Though she was very, you know, free-spirited herself. What would her career have been like? What would happen had she never met Blake? I'm still getting more depression there. She would have definitely, I feel like she had a very shut-in personality. Like she didn't open up. Like music for her was like her diary. She was able to open up through her music. But at the same time, it's like he brought out of her creativity. He was her muse. He brought out of her, you know, the parts of her that she, you know, wanted to be able to express. It's like she felt like he got her. But the only thing is, it was a very toxic relationship. And Blake himself wasn't in, you know, the best shape or form. What would Amy's life have been like had she never gotten involved with Blake? So she definitely would have been alive. She would have been grounded. But at the same time, she still would have had a very kind of tumultuous life. So it wasn't Blake. It was definitely Blake in regards to introducing her to drugs. However, though, it wasn't, if it wasn't going to be Blake, it would have been someone else. That's what I'm getting with that. Eventually, she would have graduated to drugs, you all. That's what I'm getting in this reading. If it wasn't Blake, it would have been someone else, because she's attracted to very domineering, or was attracted to very domineering and chaotic connections, drama, and it all had to do with kind of, you know, eternalized things, like what she felt on the inside. She felt chaotic, or she felt shut in at times, and so she was attracted towards people that help bring out the emotions that she felt on the inside. Very subconscious stuff. So let's see, let's get a couple of cards anyway. Universe, why did Amy cling to Blake so much? It had to do with, yeah, he wasn't trying to control her. Why did he cling? Why did she cling? She felt very connected. Yep, we already talked about it. Yeah, so she felt free when it came to Blake. She felt like she was very connected to him. This is why she clung to that relationship. She felt like she was very connected to him. She felt like he got her, and he was her muse. Like, it made her feel something. Like, for her, it was directly connected to her music, and that's what the appeal was with Blake. Like, she wanted to be able to be the best artist that she could. I'm hearing music without, that's not how it's coming out. Come on, universe. It's like she couldn't make music without it involving pain, because in her mind, the best music involved pain. It involved suffering. It involved, chaos, confusion, toxicity. So it's like she almost ran to these type of situations because of her music. Like, it was her life. It's what she wanted. So it's like, if I'm going to be my best artist, I need to be able to feel something. I need to go through it. And she felt like Blake served that purpose, or at least subconsciously. So now let's get to the next question I want to get into. In where is it? What was she going through mentally and emotionally? You all, as I'm doing this, I'm hearing age 32. You all, I think Amy would have died young regardless. Like, she died at age 27, but I'm hearing 32. 32 was the end. 32 was the end. She would have died regardless, you all. And that's so sad to hear, even in my mind, because things were so bad with substance abuse, alcohol abuse, you all. And once again, it wasn't gonna, if it hadn't have been Blake, it would have been, her own, curiosities taking her there, that her life would have been prolonged for maybe just a little while longer. What's that, 5 more years? 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yeah. She might have, it's a strong feeling that she was going to perish young. Universe, thank you for the insight. Amy's energy. What's Amy going through emotionally and mentally during this time? How is she feeling? We have colorless angel. Yeah, she felt unseen. What's Amy going through emotionally and mentally? Black flower fragrance. And she felt unseen. Something about her energy, like she felt like she was cursed. We have bird in a cage at the bottom of the deck. So she felt trapped. She felt like, not cursed as in like cursed, but it's like she felt like misery followed her with this black flower, that is a tongue twister, with this black flower fragrance. She felt like misery was like in her destiny, like it followed her. And something about her parents is coming up, her father. We have masquerade, yeah. She felt like she wasn't really seen. So once again, and this is going back to Blake, the appeal with Blake is she felt like he saw her, even though it was toxic. And I'm not at all pumping up this relationship, you all, but she felt like he saw her. She felt like she could be herself. She felt like she didn't have to hide with him. She felt like she could just, just break free. And he was my muse. I keep hearing that. He was my muse. He allowed her to, be her most creative. Universe, I'm hearing something in regards to her father. Universe, thank you for the channel messages. How did Amy feel about her father? How did Amy feel about her father? What was going on? We have the Hanged Man in reverse. I'm hearing I loved him, but I didn't want to listen to what he said. She admired him. So she really loved her father. She admired him the most. I wish he was better there for me. That's what I'm hearing. So she loved her father. I'm not getting anything crazy like abuse or using for money. I'm hearing that she admired him the most because they had a deep connection in regards to music, but something about she wished he was better. And I'm wording this in how it's coming out in my head, but she wished he was there for her, more or better there, because he was there, but more so connected. But she was very connected to her father. He was like my best friend. That's what I'm getting with that. He encouraged her music career. Both her parents did. That's what I'm getting with that. And the World card. Let's see. It's almost like, I feel like she and her father, especially with this World card in reverse, were more similar. And maybe there was some clashing between the two of them from time and time again. But at the same time, he encouraged the music path in her. They were definitely more similar. It's like her father could see himself in her. He was very proud of her. So there was a lot of love between her and her father. Let's see. Even though I'm not getting anything, like she was close to her parents. How did Amy feel about her mother? How did Amy feel about her mother? Her mother was the one that was in control. I'm hearing mom was in control. We have the Ten of Pentacles. I'm hearing, I feel like I disappointed her. So I feel like in regards to, in what she's saying in Amy's energy that I'm picking up, I feel like I disappointed her, like, and more so the rebelliousness, and then the you know, succumbing to drugs and alcohol. I feel like I disappointed her, but she was kind to me. That's what I'm getting with that 8 of Wands in the reverse and the Fool card. She knows where we stand. That's what I'm getting with that. Ooh, wow. That's what I'm hearing. So she knows where we stand. So the mother was more of a disciplinarian, but she was very close to both her parents. There was love there, a lot of love there. So let's see. Let's ask of Amy's energy and wrap this up. Amy, how do you feel about your passing? How do you feel about your passing? King of Wands in the upright. Amy, how do you feel about your passing? Devil card in the reverse. How do you feel about your passing? Oh, this Hermit card keeps popping up. And you know what I'm hearing her say? Like what's coming to mind? It is what it is. I'm hearing it's to be expected. It's to be expected. So what I'm getting in the energy is that she's definitely at terms. I'm not suffering. She's at terms with her passing. I got to do what I wanted to do. So she's not, definitely I'm not getting that she's fighting, you know, in the spirit of, you know, angry, I should say. It's not that she's angry that she passed away so soon. I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting that actually, you know, she feels like, you know, life was fulfilled. You know, I got to die doing what I want. That's what I'm hearing. I got to die doing what I want. You know, so like, though she did not want to die, definitely there wasn't like a, you know, she wasn't suicidal. She wasn't, you know, she didn't want to leave. However, though, the fact that it happened is like, well, it happened, but I'm okay. And she feels like she's better now. She's happier now. She's out of pain. And at the same time, she feels like, you know, but I got to die doing what I love to do. And she was at the top of her career. So definitely she got to die, you know, though it was tragic, but she did pass, you know, doing what she loved, you know, making music, still topping charts, you know, still making a name for herself. And now, you know, she lives on. So let's see. One last question. Universe. How long would Amy have survived had she not died? Or lived? That's the way I want to word the question. Universe, how long would Amy have lived had she not died from alcohol poisoning? How long would Amy have lived had she not died from alcohol poisoning? Let's see. How long would Amy have lived had she not died from alcohol poisoning? 5 of Pentacles in the upright. 7 of Swords in the reverse. How long had Amy had lived had she not died of alcohol poisoning? Sagittarius energy, Temperance. Her life would have been prolonged just a little bit more. But then look at that. 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. Maybe 5 to 7 more years, you all. And like I said, I told you I kept hearing 32, 32, 32. You know, Emperor card in reverse, restrictions. Now, the thing about it is Amy wasn't destined to die, like, you know, generally in regards to if she had become strict and disciplined and stayed on, you know, on the path that she was and not, you know, relapse so badly. And it's not even from the relapse itself the reason why, you know, like she died. It was how heavily she relapsed. It was a complete and total binge. And once again, the Hermit, the Virgo, she was by herself when it happened, by herself in her apartment when it happened. So on the path that she was, because she was heavily using and it was very difficult for her to stay clean, she would have prolonged her life 5 to 7 more years had she survived with that. It would have prolonged about 5 to 7 more years. However, though, she definitely had way more life in her, you all. She would have lived to be an old lady had she, you know, been able to have the correct, you know, have help around her, have a support system around her, people who would definitely help her, you know, stay strong. And that's the thing about it, you all. Substance abuse is a disease, you know. You need support. You need support, whether that's friends, family, you know, groups, sponsors. You need support. So it wasn't an easy journey by far. And it's sad in the way that she went, but definitely she's left behind a lot of great music. So that's what I have for you all. So thank you all so much for tuning into this reading. So in doing this reading, I feel it pressed on my heart from Spirit to leave information for you all. It's in the description box below regarding help for substance abuse. If you or someone you know, a family member or friend, are dealing with any substance abuse problems, I'm not affiliated with any of the resources down below. I'm just putting this there in case anybody needs it. Definitely check those resources out. You know, you need support if this is what you're dealing with or someone you know and love is dealing with this. Thank you all again for tuning in. Become a patron, book a private reading, coaching consultation, walk-in reading, same-day reading. Check the pinned comment below as well as the description box below for that one. And I'll be seeing you all on the next one. Peace and blessing. Wait, let me know how you felt about this in the back, in the down below. Yeah. We know the trends, but let me know about the reading. And remember, alleged tarot fiction. Love you all. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you care to. All right, now, bye.